Right, stream number 2 of the day. Let's do it. Where's the link? There we go. Okay, let's quickly find the standings after round 5. Because I didn't do them at the end of the last stream. That's round 7, 6. So at the end of round 5, we saw Dr. Esty take the lead of the standings. This was the crazy thing. Esty had the lead, 108 points. Blade Runner, who had a nightmare, finished 14th twice. Obviously, we saw him lose those 11 seconds in the feature race. Should have done a lot better in that 296 last week. Still 108 points, level with SD. Absolute got his double win. There were his first 2 wins of the season. 108 points as well. Top 3 separated by 0 points. All 3 of them have 2 wins as well. Leadfoot, 4th place, 2 points behind on 106. Fracas, who got wiped out in the sprint, should really still be leading this championship if he didn't get wiped out in the sprint, because he finished 3rd in the feature. 101 points. He's only 7 points off the lead, and he's in 5th place. Then Revelit is only 14 points off the lead, and he's in 6th. Then there's a bit of a gap. You got Jinx, you got Felipe Mazda, you got Wally. You got Big Popper, who actually got promoted to 2nd. Because McGibble, who we saw win, actually got a penalty and finished down in 4th. So, yeah, he should have just won by a million miles. That'll be a lesson learned for making an unnecessary pit stop and coming through to win the race on the softs at the end. Because 5-second penalty, I don't know what he got it for. Maybe he got it for one of the overtakes after his pit stop. But definitely the quickest guy last week, McGibble. So that's where we were. Very close in the standings. Basically, whoever does better in Tokyo is going to be leading the championship coming out of this one. Because there's only 2 points separating the top 4. 0 points separating the top 3. So let's go through the grid. We've got Quackhouse lining up P16 and Andy in P15. Quite similar to what we saw them doing in previous rounds. SD, really poor for the championship leader to be down in 14th in the Z4. Leadfoot, again, will be disappointed in 13th, and Fracas will be disappointed in 12th. McGibble is back again. He's in 11th this time in qualifying, so maybe not too good in the qualifying, but then just overtakes everyone in the races. I'm expecting something similar as long as he can keep it out the wall, which is going to be difficult. Jocker's back. He is in 10th. Wally is in 9th place. Grin is in 8th. I think he's making the first start of the season in a Suzuki. We got Revelit, who's been at the front a few times. He's in 7th. We got our double winner from last week, Absolute, in 6th place. We got Udele, much better qualifying in 5th here for him. Jinx always seems to be solid over the 1 lap in 4th place. Blade Runner, much better this time round in 3rd after his double P14. Then we've got Felipe up in 2nd, decent qualifying again for him. And Beyond Shook, I'm pretty sure that's his first ever pole position. So let's get this sprint up and running and see who gets the best run down into turn 1. Looks like a really good start for Shook. He's gonna comfortably stay in turn 1. We got Mazda, we got Udele, we got Blade Runner looking like they're going 3 wide. Revelit's trying to get in the mix as well. Mazda in 2nd, Revelit in 3rd. Are we going to see anyone in the wall into turn 1? Looks like everyone's made it through pretty nicely. Yeah, everyone's made it through and survived. So Shook with the lead. Mazda is in 2nd. Revelit and Udele all line stern. Then we've got Absolute trying to make his way through in 5th place. He's getting challenged now from Blade Runner, who's trying to recover from the Ferrari start. And Jinx, oh dear, a little bit of contact between all 3 of them. And again, yeah, that's not good. I bet that was reported. So that is really bad news for Blade Runner. Absolute nightmare start for him. And also for why did that happen? For Absolute, who just got... He was the unlucky party out of this. This was all Jinx's fault, to be honest. So survives the first one, and then look at that. Nothing Blade Runner could do. That's all Jinx's fault. Absolute and Blade Runner punted to the very back of the grid there, which is great news for SD, who is in 6th place now. Where did he start? I could have sworn SD had a terrible grid position. He started 14th and he's up into 6th. So let's see how this happened. Absolutely crazy start for Dr. SD. The Z4 Looks like Grin doesn't know how to start the Suzuki. So up 3 spots now for SD before turn 1. He's got McGibble on his inside in that fast Viper. He's probably just going to take advantage of all the carnage that's about to unfold. There must be something else that happened that we missed. So he's going on the inside. Everyone else caught on the outside, struggling to make apexes all over the place. That's a 4-car overtake. Then he gets past these next 2 up into 6th, thanks to Jinx's bulldozer style driving. Someone else is in the wall there. That is Jocker, so he's going to get overtaken by Grin and Blade Runner, already trying to recover back into the top 10. He's in 11th now. So it's all kicking off. SD trying to line up a move on Jinx. Up the wall, up through the tunnel. Very difficult to go side by side here. And SD's going to get fully ahead anyway, so not much to worry about. A little bit further up, we got Revelit in 2nd with a great start for Revelit, ahead of Mazda. Revelit in the wall a little bit, it's going to lose a couple of positions, losing a lot of pace there. Udale trying to get up into 2nd in the M6. Mazda really late on the brakes there. Too late on the brakes, and that is going to allow Udale to go into 2nd. Mazda's going to keep in 3rd, but he might actually be able to get 2nd back because he's going to get a good slick shot out of the chicane for taking such a wide corner. He's going to get alongside Udale. He's trying to pinch him. A little bit naughty because there almost wasn't a card's width there. Mazda and Udale's hanging it around the outside to take P2. And oh, that's unfortunate, Blade Runner. So Udale, well, Shook has just a massive lead at the end of lap 1. Let's see. 2.5 second lead for Shook ahead of Udale. Mazda's trying to get that position back. Revelit sticking in with there, but he's in the 458, which isn't good at the high speed tracks generally, especially in 6th gear. You got SD ahead of McGibble, who's all the way up into 6th already, lining up another overtake. Really early on the brakes there for McGibble, trying to take it nice and easy through a very tricky part of the track. And they all make it through this time round. A little bit further back, we got Andy up in 9th despite qualifying right near the back, so great start for him, just avoiding all the carnage. Absolute struggling in 10th place after his double win last week, so Fracas trying to do something in 12th, and we got Blade Runner down in 15th. Just ahead, we're just trying to get past Quackhouse, and Wally is in 16th as well. So we've not seen much from Shook at the front of the grid in the races that I've commentated, so this is definitely a first for him. The Audi is quite a good, well-suited car to this track, to be fair. He seems to have put in his homework. McGibble trying to catch up to Revelit now, just covering off Dr. SD through the chicane. Let's see if SD can come back at him. A bit wide there for McGibble. And yeah, McGibble's going to start driving away now, I reckon. Top 7 all fairly close, well 2nd to 7 is. Then Grin's all on his own in 8th. Looks like Absolute's managed to get past Andy, who's under pressure now from Fracas. Fracas really needs to start making some moves. I'm just going to have to go around the outside of Andy into this next corner, unless he gets a bit of a bump from Jocker. Well, a little bit close to the corner to get a bump, but he is fully ahead. And he's going to make the apex, he does indeed, so that's a good overtake for Fracas. He's got that reverse grid pole position for now. Trying to chase down Absolute. Oh, someone's in the wall, SD! What happened? Yeah, bit self-inflicted. Needed to give McGibble the space on the left. There wasn't anywhere else McGibble could have gone. Now McGibble avoids any kind of damage and stays ahead of Jinx. Jinx will benefit a little bit from the Viper slipstream now through the tunnel. Grin doing well on his return, up in 7th place right now. It's in VR. Well, tell you what, being in a convertible is very nice for VR because it gives you a full view of what's around you. Even if it is just a weird car for Group 3, I'll never get over it. Still better than the Volkswagen convertible that's a Group 3 car though. So, someone, yeah, with SD's mistake, that actually promotes a lot of people up a spot. And look at this, Shug just absolutely driving away. Definitely his race to lose at this point. Let's see if he can beat the fastest lap time. He needs to find 2/10 on his previous one, which he finds half a second. Yeah, gapping Udale pretty nicely. Felipe Mazda's catching Udale at this moment, with Revelit not too far behind. Then you have Jinx, who's managed to get ahead of McGibble, who's had a bit of a nightmare. He's got some damage. He's got loads of damage on his front. Let's see what happened to him. So he goes a bit deep. Jinx is going to get round as a result of that, but that's not the damage. Okay, he goes into the wall there, and then he's going to go into the wall again. Really sloppy. Yeah, that's what can easily happen. You're just pinballing around the track, losing a lot of time. Grin is going to try and catch up to him now. And that damage is costing him a lot of time. Grin will know it. He's still got the damage, so this is going to affect him on this run down the straight. And he's still got it, so this is Grin's probably only chance of getting past McGibble. Because the damage is going to... Yeah, it's disappeared now. Gibble going defensive. And he's going to overshoot. Grin isn't well enough placed to kind of slot into the gap that appeared. And yeah, Gibble gets away with that one. Oh ho ho! Good save. Now you got Absolute and Fracas not too far away from these guys as well. Felipe's lost a bit of time to Udale. You just saw him clatter the wall as we joined. And Revelit's got a huge run on him as a result. Side by side through the tunnel. It's always a bit dodgy, but again, Revelit's going to be fully ahead. And he's going to cover off this corner. He just needs to avoid hitting the wall, which he does. Mazda could get him on the brake. And he goes a little bit deep. And he gets away with it, so Mazda keeps that position. Jinx still ahead of McGibble. There's a bit of a gap now, and Grin is maybe going to get caught by Fracas, who's actually himself got past Absolute. Grin grazing the inside wall there, losing a lot of time to Fracas. And Absolute feeling a bit racy. Fracas maybe going in the wall here. He does, and he actually gets a bump draft by Absolute. Get out of jail free card. Absolutely fuming that he allowed that to happen, but that's what can happen in GT with the little ping pong physics that we sometimes have. And McGibble grazes the wall again, really struggling avoiding the wall. We know the Viper doesn't turn. And yeah, it's just failing to turn on him. Jocka looking fairly comfortable in 10th right now. Then you got this big battle of drivers. Red Monster, Blade Runner and SD were used to being at the front, all having a bit of a nightmare this time round. Shuk was used to not being at the front, and Udale, and they are in the top two. Let's see what Felipe Mazda can do. Can he catch up to Udele or not? Udele doing everything he needs to do to keep hold of this P2. He's not really being under pressure, but this is probably the closest that Felipe's been for a little while. And he's looking really strong in the last sector, Udele. Especially that last corner, where Felipe may have left himself a little bit open here to revel it, because that was a poor final corner going pretty wide. 57.3 by Shook. Probably not going to see that beaten unless there's a big slipstream lap coming from somebody. Felipe taking turn 1 decently. Maybe just about enough to hold off Revelit for now. But Udele starting to create another gap again. But as soon as these gaps appear, they disappear again because these guys are hitting the walls a lot. Good first part of the corner there for Revelit, and then Felipe gets a better exit. Hits the wall again though. What about McGibble? He is in 5th, he's ahead of Jinx. Grin is still ahead of Absolute, who's got back ahead of Fracas, but neither of them able to actually get ahead of Grin at this point. So let's see what Absolute can do in his Lambo. Got this tiny little convertible ahead of him. He's gaining. And Fracas is there as well. Absolute's going to try and go right down the inside. Really late on the brakes. Is he going to be able to make the apex? He does actually. Perfect braking there for Absolute. And gets that position. Now is Fracas going to be able to follow through? He's not, because Grin gets a fairly decent exit himself. Absolute's actually looking at Jinx now. Trying to get another overtake done pretty quickly. Very tricky following through here because of the different lines some people take unintentionally. And Absolute's going to get alongside. This is a bad corner to try and go alongside, but Jinx is going to hit the wall, and Grin hits the wall as well and spins out. Unlucky, and now he's going to have to wait for everyone to pass him so that he doesn't get an unsafe rejoin. And there's Quackow, so he's going to be rejoining in last place, promoting everyone up a spot, including Leadfoot, who's all of a sudden at the lead of this big fight for P10. Jocker's up in 9th now. Remember, he won the feature race in Laggy Maggy. Jinx trying to get the move done on Fracas. So Fracas must have had a poor turn 1 for this to be happening. And good braking there for Fracas, gets P7. So now he's still 1 position behind Absolute. We've got McGibble in 5th, Absolute 6th now. And it's looking alright for Absolute after a bit of a shaky start. But the top 5 look like they've broken away. McGibble's pretty much on his own at this point. Revelit trying to get past Felipe. He's been trying to do this for ages, but this 458 just doesn't have a good top speed. He's trying to go down the inside. Is he going to hit the apex? He is. Is Felipe going to get the good exit? Revelit's going to cut him off, which is perfectly entitled to do, and take that P3. And finally, Revelit gets past. Is he going to be able to catch Udele and get that P2 off of him? That's the question. Next question. Felipe much more in control of the S's section than Revelit. And Revelit grazes the wall again. So we're on the final lap. Mazda's going for it. Into turn 1. Oh, this is going to be a tough one. Turn 1's a horrible corner for overtaking. And Reveille, although he grazes the wall, gets a much better slingshot out of it, going the wider line. Gets away with it for now. You got McGibble a little bit too far back to take advantage if these two have a bit of a squabble, unless it's a major squabble. Reveille already going defensive, covering off the inside. And there's not much Felipe could do there. So Reveille just needs to avoid the walls, and I think he's going to have P3 sewn up, but he's definitely not close enough to Udele, unless something happens. Absolute solid P6 Fracas, a solid P7. Then you got Jinx in 8th, Joker, and Fred Monster's now in 10th. So Leadfoot's had a mistake somewhere, because Fred Monster's been absolutely nowhere all race, and now he's found himself in 10th place. So let's go a bit further forward. Reveille looks like he's covering off Felipe pretty well here. We've got Shook all on his own, miles and miles and miles ahead of everyone else, lapping in the 47s and then the 48s pretty solidly. Decent pace for Udele as well, a little bit slower. Not really been under any threat. A big redemption from his race last week. And it looks like Reveille's going to get yet another podium. Reveille's been on the podium and been challenging for the podium pretty much every race. So let's go back to Shook. He's taking the final corner now. He just needs to avoid the wall, and he's going to take a really solid, really dominating victory here in Tokyo in the Audi R8. So big congrats to him. Udele taking the final corner. It's going to be comfortable in P2. Reveille is going to hold off Felipe Mazda for that 3rd place. 4th Mazda, 5th for McGibble, 6th is going to be Absolute, and 7th for Fracas. Good to be in the points again in the sprints. Jinx is going to be 8th, Jocker is going to be 9th. Fred Monster is just in 10th ahead of Blade Runner, who misses out on the reverse grid pole by a couple of tenths maximum. Leadfoot is 12th, SD's 13th. Andy, after getting into the top 10, dropped back down to 14th. Quackhouse 15th, and Grin, who should have definitely been in the top 10 comfortably, is going to finish in 16th place. So, a lot of the guys who were outside the top 10 could easily make a charge through the field in this feature race. We've got... there it is. So, interesting feature strategies, because the one-stop hard medium and the two-stop either medium soft soft or medium medium soft are very similar. It depends on traffic, really. So I'm expecting lots of softs, lots of mediums, and lots of hards to start this one. Let's have a quick check on who's on what. It's got hards, mediums, 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 hards, mediums, 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 hards, mediums, mediums. Okay, no one's actually on the softs. If I was Fred Monster, I'd probably be starting on the softs, because I don't want to be stuck in the drama. Unless he feels like he can drive away from the pack. It's got 21 laps. Some of them, we might see the 296s try the medium soft. That was the winning strategy in Tier 1 with a Citroen, which is not on the grid. So, braking for turn 1. Everyone is pretty normal. Let's see if anyone hits the wall on the exit. Nope, very normal turn 1 for everyone. Big run down to turn, well, the second brake is on. I don't know if you call it turn 2, 3, 4. There's lots of little kinks here. From Fred Monster's point of view, everything's looking pretty decent. Pretty late on the brakes for Jock because he's defending from Jinx. Goes a little bit deep as a result. Is Jinx going to be able to get alongside? No. Oh, and he hits the inside and gets a bump out, but from Fracas. Again, some carnage at the opening laps, but Fracas keeps P4 ahead of Absolute. McGibble's trying to get in on the action as well. Absolute hits the wall himself, so this is going to be open the door for McGibble to get that position. More wall grazing. Oh, McGill trying to force his way up the inside. Can't do it. Actually gives Absolute a bit of a bump into Fracas's slip. Right. Crazy braking zone coming up. And McGibble's gone for it. Oh. And a good exit from there for McGibble. And Fracas trying to get past as well. Let's see what's going on a bit further down. Everyone's pretty much as they were a bit further down. I think Udale's actually dropped a couple of spots. Blade Runner's gained a couple of spots. Shook on the mediums this time around. Obviously, it's a different kettle of fish when you're on the different compounds in the feature race with a higher tyre wear. Oh, everyone's hitting the walls. Udale's, SD, they're both in the walls. Is Andy going to be able to take both of them? He's got one. This is what you have to think about in these feature races. Looks like a few other people have hit the walls because look at this. Blade Runner catching up to Jinx and Revelit. Felipe up in 6th now. All of them going too wide around the first corner. Blade Runner just easing past. There's one, there's two. Is he going to be able to catch Revelit as well into the next corner? Great start here for Blade Runner. Should have been high up in the sprint as well, obviously. Revelit's also on the mediums. Oh, Felipe completely missing his braking there. And there's Jinx again. Oh, Blade Runner's on fuel lap 3 right now as well. That's crazy. I don't know how you ended up on fuel map 3. Never ever go outside of fuel map 1. If you need to short shift, do short shifting. If you need to lift and coast, it's still better than going into any different fuel map. So that'll be why everyone's queuing up to try and get past Blade Runner right now. Well, actually they're not, because they keep hitting the walls. Shook falling back a little bit after his amazing sprint race. Like I said in the other stream, it's easy to win. Oh dear. Oh, here we go. Lots of damage. Easy to win from the front. Not so easy to come through the pack. Obviously feature races depend a lot on having racecraft and strategy come into play. This is recoverable though. He's obviously got the pace to still finish very strongly. What's happening at the front? Wally. Where's Wally? He's in P1 and he has a comfortable lead. First real lap is going to be in the 59s. Compared to the 2 minutes, high 2 minutes for Jocker, who's got McGibble and Absolute very close behind him. So let's join with McGibble on his Viper, trying to make his way through the field like he has done in every single race that we've watched to date. Super straightforward. Look at this. There's Absolute. Look at that. He's just driven away from Absolute as well. He's fully ahead before the braking zone. Yes, he is. Is he going to go and make the apex? He doesn't make the apex. Is he still going to get away with it? Jocker's going to come back at him. Doesn't want him to keep the spot. Jocker's got one more corner to try and get ahead. McGibble keeps his nose there. And they're still side by side. Absolute's going to try and get both of them, I reckon. If Absolute was a little bit closer, he could have really taken advantage before this braking zone here. And McGibble is just about ahead. He should stay ahead, really. But this is the 2016 AMG, which is, I think, a bit better on the high speed than the newer version. No idea why. Ooh. And that should be just about enough for McGibble to stay in P2 and maybe start hunting down Wally. But this is why I mentioned, if I was Wally, oh dear, that I'd have wanted to be on the softs, because he'd be about 3 or 4 seconds further down and he wouldn't have a Viper on the same tyres starting to hunt him down now. But he's already built himself a nice lead, so maybe the mediums is the way to go. We'll have to wait and see how the race pans out. Obviously don't know who's going to be planning to do the 1-stop and who's going to be planning to do the 2-stop. Who is the highest hard runner? That's a good question. Felipe is, and he's struggling to not hit the walls here, but he doesn't have anyone too close to him. He's got SD on the mediums, who will be catching up fairly quickly. The next highest hard runner is Leadfoot, all the way down in 13th place. Grin's on the hards as well. So only 3 drivers on the hards, everyone else on the mediums. And the only one who's making it work, really. There's Jocko losing a spot to Absolute as well. So he must have had a terrible turn 1. So good start to the feature for Absolute, that's for sure. Fracas is now defending from Revelit. So old versus new Ferrari. Easy to miss in VR. Well, I race in VR, so I don't accept that excuse. Before every race, I always do a little twist of the knob to see what. Well, I always set my brake balance, to be fair, and make sure that's correct. But it takes you past the fuel map. Everyone making it through the tunnel nice and safe, but we are very close together, every single driver here. Not expecting to see any pit stops for probably another 5 laps. Oh, Fracas! Everyone survives, it's fine. And then we've got a big gap down to Jinx. Mazda has been caught by SD here. So let's see how SD negotiates the hard-tired driver in front of him through the S's. Blade Runner still in 11th. Andy again. Andy always starts these races well, builds himself up into a good position, taking advantage and avoiding, crucially, all the carnage that seems to happen in every single one of these races in Tier 5. Ooh, good little exit there for SD, avoiding the wall, might have a run. Little bump instead. And Felipe going wide around the corner. Now if I'm SD, I'm making this overtake because if you do the bump draft, Andy might catch up. Although Mazda's going too defensive to kind of make it worthwhile, I guess. Just outbrake him. Nah. Ooh, there's Andy. Yeah, SD did brake a little bit early there, probably caught Andy off guard slightly, but no harm done. So what's happening a bit further up? You got Fracas trying to chase down Jocko. Jocko doesn't seem to have the pace of the top guys. He's dropping back from Absolute and McGibble. So Fracas really does need to get a move on and get past him. Not like that. Not like that. Bump draft through the tunnel, overtake into the braking zone. That's always the best strategy. And instead, Revelit's probably going to get Fracas now. And Jocko's gone too deep as well. Oh my god. They'll actually make it through without any contact. Little drag race between the Ferraris. Look how much bigger the new Ferrari is. At this tiny little 458. I'd still say the 458's a better car than the 296 with current bop. Over 1 lap, certainly. Over a sprint race, definitely. Maybe not over a feature race. Over a sprint race. So Revelit does get past Fracas into 5th place. Good little overtake there. Fred Monster. Massive lead. His tyre wear is slightly better than the Vipers. McGibble's tyre wear is, yeah, and Absolute's got better tyre wear than both of them. So what is going to happen here with Absolute? The good thing for him is he's got some lovely Viper slipstream to enjoy. Dragging him along, dragging him away from Jocko, who is going to start getting chased down by Revelit probably now. Jocko doing pretty well again, not showing the same pace that he had in Largo, but to be P4, it's pretty solid. We're on lap 6 with almost a third of the way into the race, so if we're going to see 2 stops, we might start seeing them fairly soon. Mazda on the hards, still in 9th. Blade Runner enjoying his slipstream. What lap did you realise that you were in Fuel Map 3? I want to know when you start racing for real. To be fair, still keeping up with everyone. And beating a lot of other people further back. Oh dear, 3 wide into the braking, and he's gone for it. And is he gonna? He does make the corner as well, and he's gonna try and get Felipe, but he loses traction on the exit, and he's probably gonna lose that spot again to Blade Runner up the hill. That was some horrible camera angles. Lap 15 or 16. That's unfortunate. The thing is, because you're in slipstream, it's not gonna impact you too much right now. And yeah, Andy into the walls there, having to go side by side through the S's, losing a lot of time. Jinx struggling through there. Esti's going to try and get this spot into turn 1, surely. No, going for the bumping. So he wants to work together at the start of lap 7. Ooh. And then gets dragged through, yeah. Well, because he messed up turn 1, now he's going to get some good slip up the hill to kind of make up for it. And he's got a hard-tired car behind him, which is probably going to start coming into its own a little bit better soon. We got Fracas, who's caught back up to Jocker, and he's got past Revolut again, so something's happened to Revolut. I want to call him Revolut like the bloody bank every time I see his name. Oh dear. So what you're saying is it would have been better to just stay in Fuel Map 3 for the whole race? Oh gosh. Never mind. Oh, really late on the brakes there for Revolut. Half thought he was going to just duck out and go into the pits there. Good exit for Fracas compared to Jocker. Jocker's tyres starting to fail on him a little bit. Maybe this is Fracas' opportunity. Jocker's really good on the exit out of that corner though. It looks like SD and Jinx having a little battle as well further back, but Jinx has stayed ahead. Oh, Jocker, too wide. This is going to back Fracas up as well into Revolut again. This is a very slow final sector. So what's going to happen here? He's going for it into turn 1. Side by side, they're both going to lose a chunk of time here to Revolut. If Revolut really nails this turn 1, he might... Oh no, he doesn't nail it. I was going to say he might have been able to get a huge slingshot out of there. But these two stay side by side, up, down and up the hill. Into the braking zone. Yeah, and Jocker nearly having some contact with Revolut. There's something going on here. So what's happening with McGibble? Is he going to go wide again? He's been struggling to get the car turned quite a lot. Maybe not adjusting for his tyre wear. And Absolute is ahead. McGibble does leave him enough space, which is very hard to do when you're taking that corner so tight. Absolute gets ahead, but he might get overtaken again here. If I'm two-stopping, I mean, McGibble's going to have to two-stop, isn't he? I might consider pitting now. Putting in a huge chunk of fuel. Absolute gets away with it. I thought he'd get overtaken, but McGibble hit the wall. And what's Fred Monster going to do? He's been lapping in the 59s in 2 minutes. Still, he's got the fastest lap of 58.5. Not coming in yet. If I'm in the lead, I'm not coming in yet either. Everyone carrying on. Absolute misses the apex by quite a margin, but gets away with it. Oh, talk about missing the apex. I don't know what that is. Yeah, but so there's 2 positions lost for Fracas. Let's rewind and see what's happened here. He's just going to outbrake himself, isn't he? Yep. And then Jocka goes wide as well, and he's just like, alright, thank you very much. Actually covers off Fracas from getting a good exit as well. SD and Mazda are carrying on. Mazda completely overshoots. Andy gets past, oh, well, very momentarily. Anyone in the pits this lap? Grin's having a tough one on these hards. Ooh. And Beyond Shook, his last lap was 2:14, so he's had another nightmare, and he's coming into the pits. So our race winner might actually finish 16th in this one. Who did I pick for this tier? I might have picked Absolute. I can't remember in my predictors. SD? I could have picked SD. It's been a long time. So, what is the lead pace looking like? A 59.6 compared to a 59.7 for Absolute. A 2-minute one for McGibble, but he did get overtaken by Absolute on that lap before he was in the 58s. And then these guys are in the 2 minutes. Jocka back ahead of this little train of cars. Everyone else way above the 2 minutes. 2-minute 2s for Blade Runner in his Fuel Map 3. Udale, 2-minute 2s. 2-minute flat for Quackhouse, which was his fastest lap. He's still in with the pack, which is nice to see. Leadfoot really struggling there. Grin, 2-minute 3s. And we'll have to see what Beyond Shook... Oh, he's already got some damage. He's on the soft tyres, so he's going to go for a fastest lap here at least. Wants to be on the tyres that he was on in the sprint, because obviously he had a better groove in that sprint race, but he's come straight out of the pits and got some damage. Fracas in the pits, so the first of our front runners to come in, it's Fracas. What is he gonna do? So surely Fracas is committing to the 2-stop as well. And Blade Runner's in as well, so this is a 296 strategy. He's coming out in 12th. He's got Leadfoot behind him, he's on the softs, and he's got plenty of clear air. And he needs to stay ahead of Leadfoot. This is really important that he stays ahead of Leadfoot. And he hasn't. Oh dear. And just like that, his challenge for the race win has been severely dented. What about Blade Runner? Blade Runner's in a similar situation. He's got Grin right behind him. I think Grin's letting him through. I think he knows that a soft-tired car is not gonna do much. He's not gonna do much against that, is what I'm trying to say. I'm running out of words now. So 59.7, half a second quicker than Absolute. McGibble now camped out right behind Absolute here. And McGibble's gonna have to come in here, I think. Oy. Question is, for what? For the hards or committing to the 2-stop? Fred Monster carries on. It looks like McGibble's coming in. What about Revelit? Oh god, oh god. Well, I guess he's coming in. I don't know if he wanted to come in. Jocka's coming in as well. Mazda carries on his hard tyres, as does Andy. SD's in the pits. So where's McGibble coming out? There's Felipe Mazda. He's come out on the softs, McGibble. He's been overtaken by Andy as well. He's ahead of Udale. He's on very worn mediums. Just having a bad one this time round. Yeah, our top two from the sprint having an absolute shocker here in the feature race. Fracas is in 8th now. So McGibble needs to get past Andy, preferably into turn 1 for him. Andy going defensive, doesn't fancy giving this up, and then goes into the wall. So Straightforward there for McGibble. I don't know if that was a bump into the wall. It didn't look like it. I'm not going to go back and see though. He's got Felipe on the hard tyres, not too far ahead, so we'll catch him fairly quickly. So it's going to be a question of what does Wally want to do? Can he make this medium soft work? I don't think so. Have to stay out another couple of laps maybe to 13. Yeah, and maybe 8 might just about be enough. It is possible. If I'm him, I'd probably try it. I mean, he's indicating. I don't know if that means he's coming into the pits. I don't know who he's indicating to, but he is coming in. He's indicating to me, I guess. In comes Absolute as well. Okay. McGibble has got past Felipe very quickly. So is he going to take the lead of this race, having overtaken 2 cars as well on these softs? How much fuel's going in? Wally's got about the same. And there's Wally. McGibble takes the lead of this one. And Wally's stuck behind Felipe for a few corners, so this is great news for Gibble. And Fracas is in 5th. Absolute is fueled to the end. So he's trying a slightly different strategy where he puts in more fuel now to try and get the jump on people in the pits next time he comes in, because he is on softs, he's going to have to pit again. There's Blade Runner trying to get a spot, and he does get past Absolute as well. So I think everyone left is going to... There's Wally, who's got past Felipe as well. This is basically the order. Everyone has one more pit stop to make, I reckon. So Felipe up in a net P3, Andy's up in a net P4. Fracas has some work to do, but he's got much better tyres for the rest of the race than the guys ahead of him, the 2 ahead of him. Blade Runner comes out of this in P6. Could have been so much better. And Absolute has a bit of hard work to do because of his decision to put all that fuel in. We'll be weighing his car down as well. You want a light car for these high-speed tracks. Revelit's just got past Grin to retake 8th. Ooh. Yeah, Blade Runner looking really in control compared to Absolute at this stage of the race. Are we going to see Felipe come in this lap and do the rest on the mediums? No, he carries on once again. Andy carries on as well. Blade Runner looking comfortable against Absolute. Where's the action? Jocker's out on hards to the end. So after that really good first stint where he's in 4th, I think, he's dropped to 11th with the extra fuel and the overcut. Grin's in at least. So we might see what happened with Udale in the last race, being the only person on these slower tyres. He needs to keep his composure, keep his pace as strong as possible, avoid the walls, which you need a lot of practice on the hards around here to consistently avoid the walls, I think. He's doing it so far, but it looks like he's driving very safe. Two-minute 1 in the last lap, which was kind of not even his pace at the end of his previous stint. 2-minute 0.5, that's much better. That's only half a second off his best lap of the race. So that's looking good. McGibble lapping in the 57.6s. Fracas has the fastest lap. Wally's in the 58s, but not actually far away from McGibble at all. On fresher tyres as well, so Wally's got the advantage for basically for the rest of the race, because McGibble's going to have to make his second stop a lot earlier as well. So if I'm Wally, I'm wanting to stay in McGibble's slip until he pits, unless he makes a mistake. Do some extra fuel saving, benefit me later on in the race, if at all possible. I mean, he should be able to catch through this final sector and be pretty close behind McGibble to start the next lap if everything goes right. Little graze of the wall. So Felipe makes his first stop, Andy makes his first stop. They both had to because they ran out of fuel. I need to find my charger. Oh dear, this is not the way to start. You hunt back down for P1. Hold on, I'm just getting a message here. So can Fracas chase down these guys, I wonder? His tyres are a lot more worn. Committed to the two-stop as well. With a much earlier pit stop, wants to do a lot more laps on the softs than everybody else. So maybe we'll be coming in a little bit earlier too. So this will be around about the time that Blade Runner finds out that he's on the Fuel Map 3. Still ahead of Absolute though, and this is great for Fracas, because Fracas was a little bit behind Absolute, but remember, Absolute's got all this extra fuel, and that's probably why he's struggling to do the overtake. Up through the tunnel. This is Absolute's best chance to get this position in quite a while. Has to chuck it down the inside. The door was left open. Switchback attempt didn't work out there for Blade Runner, and Absolute should be able to power up the hill now. So, end of lap 14. We've got a fight on our hands for the lead of the race. Fred Monster has caught up now to McGibble on his better tyres. Really late on the brakes. Yeah, way too far back. Although, it's kind of put McGibble on the back foot. McGibble could have just completely shut the door there and been a bit more comfortable through those corners, but now Fred Monster stays very close behind him. McGibble, to be fair, McGibble's tyres aren't that much more worn. Here we go through the tunnel, battle for the lead. Let's see what happens. Are we going to see another pit stop? We're around about the time for the next pit stop, but they're both going on for another lap. McGibble goes wide again, and Fred Monster should have really had that position. And yeah, McGibble's gone at least a second ahead at that point. Fracas in for his second stop, Absolute's in for his second stop, and his big undercut attempt. Let's see how this benefits Absolute, because he doesn't have to put in the fuel this time around. And he didn't put in... Did he even change his tyres? That's unfortunate. So Absolute should have changed his tyres. Looks like he got a bit too excited and forgot to change the tires. Oh dear. So he's going to have to come in and get it at some point. Fracas putting in the fuel comes out ahead of Udalate, which is crucial. Udalate's going to come in fairly soon. Mazda. Oh dear. And that is a big mistake there for Blade Runner. Caught all over the show. McGibble and Fred Monster still having a battle. Absolute having to come in a third time I should say, next time we hit the pit box probably. He comes out in a comfortable third. It might have been fourth with the tyre change, but you'd have had to overtake a car on hard tyres. So this is a podium thrown away for Absolute. Revelit and Felipe having a bit of a battle here as well. God, it's all kicking off now. Revelit comfortably ahead, and Felipe, oh dear, and Andy gets past him. Big mistake there for Felipe. Struggling with the side-by-side action, these guys, with the harder tyres. Into the pits comes Fred Monster and McGibble. Fred actually is ahead. It looked like he was ahead. What's going on here? Oh, well. Well. If that's why he loses the race, that is unfortunate. So what's going to happen with Absolute? Could have been in with a chance of winning the race, you know. He's coming in though instead. He'd have been coming out round that corner right about now with these guys just exiting the pits. It had been really close between the top three, but Fred takes the lead. He's got quite a big lead as well because he had slightly more fuel than McGibble coming into the pits. So it did look like he managed to fuel save a little bit. Jocker, on his hard tyres, still in third place. Good few laps to go still. Fracas in a good position of getting another podium on his fairly fresh softs. Revelit is in fifth. Andy on slightly more worn softs in sixth place. Mazda going to try and recover. He's on the mediums though. And then we got Absolute, after his third pit stop, is out in eighth. Trying to salvage anything here. After his double win last week, it was looking really good. Not anymore. And you got some guys down here who are not having a good one. Shook is on the hards. Okay. That is a unique decision. He was on the softs last time I checked. So we got this BMW looking, pretty comfortable at the front now. We've got our Dodge Viper chasing him down, which is never a fun thing to have behind you. Something's happening a bit further down. Oh dear. What's happening? We got Mazda, we got Andy, we got Absolute. Oh, it's not what you want. And then Absolute just like finishes the job. Right, let's see what happens. Is there moving under braking? I'm not quite sure. Right, so here's the braking point. Shouldn't be really turning whilst braking like this. Ugh, I don't know. That's where the first contact happens. Self-inflicted? I don't know if it was reported. Just before the braking zone. I mean, the problem is, he's turning left, he's turning right, there's no space. It's kind of... They both kind of got what they deserved. And yeah, good news for Absolute, he gets 2 free positions here. I mean, I don't think there was any problem with that, to be fair. So Absolute on the fresh tyres, he is kind of far away from Revelit. Maybe he can catch up before the end and still get a top 5. Andy, very unfortunate. He's down in 8th now. He's got Dr. Esty with a 3-second penalty, and then Leadfoot and Udele. So he should still finish in 8th place despite all that. You got Fracas really close to Jocker now. Into the braking zone. Looks like he's got the move done pretty nicely. The camera angle into that corner, the best corner for overtaking, is just absolutely horrendous. So Fracas into the podium positions. Let's see what these first laps on the softs look like. Can McGibble start chasing down Wally is the question. We've got a 58.4, not too fast for the softs, a 57.2, which is the fastest lap of the race, 1.2 seconds quicker. McGibble could still win this one. Should have obviously won the race last week. Did win it on track. Fracas retakes the fastest lap with the overtake on Jocker, so that's very impressive. Jocker is still looking comfortable in 4th. Revelit could chase him down. Absolute could potentially chase him down as well before the end. We've got 4 laps to go. Udele and Leadfoot, let's see what happens between these two. Udele's actually got himself back into an alright position. Yeah, not much going on with this battle. So I guess it's all about what's going on at the front. Fred Monster, McGibble, there's maybe 2 seconds between them. 4 laps left. Little graze against the wall for McGibble there on the exit. Up the hill now, 8 tenths off of his best lap on the previous lap, so struggling to keep the consistency, even though he has the pace. Jocker falling really far off the back of Fracas now. Revelit might fancy a move before too long. Let's see how quickly he can catch through the S's here. Look at that. He's gained at least 2 seconds. And then hits the wall to let Jocker start to drive away a little bit at the end. So a 59.5 compared to a 2:09 compared to a 57.8. A 58.1. What is going on here? Is he disconnecting? What is this? Yep, that is a disconnect. That's what happens. That's unlucky. Bit of an understatement. So, Fracas all of a sudden into P2. Jocker, on his hard tyres, is still in with a shout of a podium. And we've got Absolute in with a shout of a podium, despite his extra pit stop because he forgot to change his tyres. What could have been? Let's stick with Absolute. Let's see what he can do through the tunnel section. This Lambo, very good car. Oh dear, they're all getting a little bit too close. Absolute doesn't know where to put his car, hits the wall a couple of times, gets away with it. Jocker missing the apex again. The thing is, if you miss the apex, you just by default get a better exit than someone who hits the apex. It's a really strange one. Revelit covering off Absolute beautifully here. Obviously Revelit's tyres are slightly more worn, having come in earlier. Here we go, this is Absolute's chance. What's Jocker gonna do? He's fully ahead as well. Is this going to be a podium still? It should be. He's on the hard tyres, Joker. He shouldn't have much to defend. We've only got a lap or two left. Into the braking zone. Really late for Absolute at the brakes. Trying to go the long way around. This doesn't work. Although, if there's ever a chance for it to work, it's against someone on the hard tyres, and it does! What an overtake. Get that into overtake submissions. What a recovery drive from Absolute. A lot of people, if they forgot to change their tyres in the pit stop, would rage quit, they would make mistakes because they get too angry with themselves, but he's kept his head down and salvaged the best possible result, still getting huge points, especially after that disappointing sprint race. That's the thing about GT, even when mistakes happen or incidents happen, if you keep your head down, you can always still get a good result. Joker losing out to Revelit as well, so expected, to be fair. But P5, with this strategy, still a very decent result. Fred Monster started his final lap now, completely a million miles ahead of everybody else. Obviously started the feature in, it was either first or second, I can't remember now. Quite lucky to finish in the top 10 in the sprint because of all of the carnage, but lucked out. That's what you need as well, a bit of luck to completely change the fortunes of Unite. Fracas didn't have that luck, but has still come through to take P2. Really solid strategy from Fracas, pitting early, getting the undercut on a lot of people. Absolute should have, would he have had P1? Maybe not, but he would have at least had second if he didn't make that mistake. But for getting to change your tyres in the pits to only cost you a couple of points is not that bad. To be fair, what's his lap times look like? 57, 58, 59. 57, 59, 58, very similar to Fred, so whether he'd have been able to overtake Fred is unknown. Nothing but self-loathing pushing me forward. Anger and hate were fueling you at the end of this one. What's happening here? Udele and Andy having a battle. Looks like Andy's got been passed by Udele. Andy's struggling at the end of this one. Let's go back up to Fred though. Give him a bit of love at the end of this one. Perfect race. Looked like it was going to McGibble, but McGibble obviously had his disconnect, which is unfortunate, but Fred Monster was in the lead anyway and takes a good feature race win here with a huge gap to P2. Fracas with a big recovery drive at this one. Really nice result for him to take second, put him back in contention. Absolute a solid P3 ahead of Revelit in fourth. Very consistent results for Revelit all season long. Joker in fifth, Mazda is sixth. Then a big gap. Udele, who was really far down at the start of this feature race, seventh. Leadfoot in eighth, SD in ninth. Andy on completely dead tyres, dropped down to 10th, just pit a little bit too early for those softs. Grin in 11th. Jinx, who we haven't seen much of, in 12th. And Blade Runner, just a bad one. Look at that, 2 minute 14 on lap 20. And then Quackhouse, and then Beyond Shook is going to at least score a single point, but does the first in the sprint race, last in the feature race challenge, which I don't think many people have done in ALR before, so at least there's that. And that's it. Alright, no more streams for today, but